everybody, it's your girl Sophie So back here on Sophia's Football Talk to talk about the big games tomorrow, the final games of the Premier League. Now that the season has come to a conclusion, we'll see. Will it be Man City most likely winning the league? But you never know. You never know. Can West Ham do something for us tomorrow? Hopefully. Either way, we will talk about all of that good stuff. And I'm joined by two wonderful guests debuting on the channel. First up, we have Man City fan Crunk from Shades of Blue Network. How are you, my friends? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Good to have you on. And of course, also Daya from Banter on the Pitch. How are you? You good, bro?
I'm good. I'm chilling, man. I'm good. Coffee. I've had my coffee, so I'm really good.
Awesome. Yeah, so we will be talking about mostly focusing on the each of the guys' big games, but also, of course, diving into some of the other games as well. I mean, Brighton versus Man United, especially now that we know the Zerbi is leaving Brighton. It'll be interesting. Sheffield United versus Spurs, maybe. Will it be Spurs bottling it? You never know. But before we fully dive in, make sure that you, of course, give this video here a big thumbs up because the more likes we get, the more we're able to push the video out there for more people to see. And indeed, subscribe as well. Still on the road to 3K subscribers, so let's make it happen. And also join the SFT membership. Link is in the description box. Big up to Bart, big up to Ravi, and big up to Maltiti's Corner. Let's start off with, you know what? Let's start off with Arsenal. Dio,
Yeah.
tell us about your season with how it's been going and with, players that you bought, such as Declan Rice, of course. Are you content or are you thinking we're just missing that final piece, which is, of course, the league? I don't know. Give me your thoughts.
I think we bought well over the last two seasons, and it's clearly showed in the stats and the positions that we put ourselves in. This time last season, where the trophy was at the Etihad. This time last season, the trophy was already at the Etihad, like with their names etched on it. According to news today, tomorrow there's going to be two replica trophies, one at the Emirates, one at the Etihad, with all the same fireworks. Whatever. I mean, City 11v11 are going to beat West Ham. They're going to win it. But for the first time, there's two trophies sitting down separately in in stadiums waiting because mathematically it's still possible, and that's the position you want to be in as a team. You want to be able to, and if you are going up against the Man City and you're mathematically on that same day having the they have a bigger chance of winning, but you have that slight chance of also winning it, and there's a trophy at your stadium, then you're on the right track. You're not regressing. So last season we could have, if we had what it took, we could have gone all the way. This season we've pushed them to the final day for us to know who's going to win it. Yes, we are missing a few pieces, and I think for you to stay at the top and have sustainable winning, you have to consistently miss a few pieces every season, which means next season we bring in some more pieces. If we win, the following season we bring in more pieces. You just have to keep recycling. That's what City has done. Pep did it in his first year where he hadn't won. He fixed the team, got his players, and every year you wonder why he just like he's getting people, and you're like, Guardiola, but they're talking about Savi already coming in this season. Already they're already talking about Paqueta. Like there's reasons why you do that. So there's always going to be a missing piece because football is consistently evolving every season. New managers are showing up out of the brink. The Eddie Howe's of this world, the Dezerbis are all these guys are becoming threats. Um, even Mikel Arteta, who's literally this is his fifth year as a manager. He's 5 years old. Like I think in experience wise, he is like probably the youngest one in every manager in the Premier League. Every other manager has managed somewhere before they, came to a team in the Premier League. So, and if you're pulling off this kind of level of competitiveness, of course, it's not a trophy, and I know that's what people are going to hammer over my head. But my rebuttal for them is always this: it's simple. I have the third largest cabinet of trophies in the history of football in England, and in 20 years, I haven't won the EPL, and still none of you have caught up. You had 20 years to win 20 trophies to catch up to me. You still haven't caught up. I'm chasing the Man U's and the Liverpool's cabinet. That's where I want to get to. So if you've had 20 years and you haven't caught up, then hey, good for you. You still can't speak to me. I mean, you're winning in recent times, but you still can't talk to me. Like, I still have the third largest cabinet, so let's get that clear, So, but of course, respect to every team when it comes to what they're doing, especially Man City and Pep Guardiola. People have to realize Pep is Pep. Pep is Pep. It's like, it doesn't matter what you like. I hear people asking me, "Oh, you're missing a few pieces. We used to be able to." I said, "Look, Pep is Pep, man. It's going to be hard to beat Pep." I looked at the table this morning, and Arsenal has won 27 games so far. City has won 27 games. Arsenal has drawn 5 games and lost 5 games. City has drawn 7 games and lost 3 games. That's the fine margins we're talking about here. Their winning record is the same, right? And I know people turn up, like yesterday I was on the stream and someone said to me, "Oh, if only you had beat Aston Villa, then you guys would be right now champions." I said, if only Rodri did not choke somebody and had 3 games off and then City lost those 3 games, maybe we'll not even be having this conversation.
True.
If buts and maybes, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it is what it is at the stage we are at, but this is where this is the conversation I wanted to be in as Arsenal over the years. I haven't been in this conversation where I'm sitting down talking about there is a trophy sitting at the Emirates right now. Like, nobody, I wasn't even talking top 4. Like, I couldn't have those conversations. Tottenham was celebrating being above me every year. Like, Tottenham fans telling me to my face, we stuffed you again. Look at you. Like, those are the conversations I was in. Now, these are the conversations that I'm in now. I'm in the conversations where they're making me favorites in the quarterfinals of the Champions League against the Bayern Munich. That's insane. After not being there for 10 years, and not being in the quarterfinal for 14 years, and they're coming there for the first time with a bunch of young kids and a first-time coach to then be labeled favorites against the Bayern Munich. I mean, come on. That's good conversations for me. So yeah. So I'm happy. I know we have a few missing pieces. The scary part for everybody is that our team is young, our coach is young, and our owners are ready to back them. So Arsenal is here to stay for many more years. There's going to be, if we don't get it this season, there's always next season. And next season, my goal is take every cup seriously, every trophy seriously.
Yes.
This season, I think we did that as well. But I'll tell you where it is. I can apportion blames to my players where they failed. In the FA Cup, for example, we outplayed Liverpool. We outplayed them, but then we just, by errors of our own, allowed them to come in and score 2 goals. Arteta set up the team to win. He took it seriously. He put the strongest squad out there, but they failed. I can't put that on the coach. If he set you up and you've outplayed your opponent and you're not being brutal in front of goal, you're not being clinical, you're not taking your chances, that's on you, the players. I have to put that on the players. I don't care what anybody says, because he set you up and you dominated this team. You're in front of goal and then you scuff it. Like, that's on the players. They didn't take it seriously. He took it seriously. So yeah, and I'm happy where we're at, because it sounds crazy. People are like, yeah, but that's failure. No, it's not, because the same way Rodri decided to choke a man and get a red card, yeah, maybe that spirit might overcome him tomorrow. Let's wait and see. You never know. This is football. 11v11, West Ham is dead. It's 10-0. 11v11 on a good day, West Ham is just take it from me. They're going to crush West Ham. But in football, we know crazier things have happened.
Oh yeah.
Crazier things have happened. Somebody is excited. It's 10 more minutes to go. They are leading 1-0. We just got to keep this 1-0 lead. And then you do what? You tackle crazy in the box because of the anxiety. Look, I understand that City as a team have very experienced players amongst them. But when you bring in the likes of Baby Doku and the rest of these guys who have not been in this position, and the pressure gets on him as well, you never know. So I'm just saying, like, and the same thing for Arsenal. We have to focus on Everton. we could be there worrying about City, and then the pressure falls on us, and we let Everton beat us 1-0. All in the problem. We don't want to lose. We have to play conservative. I'm like, look, this is the last game of the season. This is where I'm telling the boys, let's just go out, have fun, and smash them. Now you're Odegaard. Now you're allowed to dribble 20 people. Rice, now you're allowed to run. Gabriel, look, 3 more minutes to the end of the game. Somebody tries to score, take him out, get a red card. I'm happy for you to do that. Like, this is where I tell them, Raya, do you ping those passes with Saka? I remove the chains. I'm not playing you in a system anymore. I free you to run at your players. This is the game where you do that, So yeah, I'm happy where we're at. I like where we're at. I like the conversations that my team is in, and I think
Mhm.
a few pieces added to us, and we'll be good. We'll be good.
Do you think Arteta has learned from last season?
Clearly, the results show it. Last season, he had bottled it by April. March,
Mm,
April, we were out. This season,
true.
he's there till the end of the season, the last day of the season. If he
Mhm.
hasn't learned anything, I mean, I think most people are expecting that when we say we learned from last season, it means we should have crushed Man City by now, and we should be the ones in charge and have 3 or 6 points lead and be, we're talking about Man City here. And I that's why I always refer to, like, when people say to me about, well, if you guys had only beaten Fulham, man, well, if City had also beat Aston Villa and the other teams, we'll still be having the same conversation. You can't use that context for me and not use it for City. If you guys had won your games, yeah, of course. Or if City had won their games, would still be having the same conversation. It's disingenuous when Arsenal fans say to me, "Oh, but if only we beat Aston Villa." I'm like, but if only City beat Aston Villa as well. So what are we saying? That would still be 3 points, 3 points. Would still be having, So I think he's learned. I think Arteta has learned. I think, and you can see it from the way the boys are playing. You can see from the way the team is. I know everybody still wants to banter Arsenal because we haven't won an EPL in 20 years. Great, banter is banter. But when we're talking pure and outright football, we look better than City this season. We look way better than City when I talk about like how we play and how we control games and how we dominate games. City looks shaky in a bunch of their games. Nottingham Forest, they look shaky. Nottingham could have won that game 3-1 easily. Like, they do look shaky. Like, this is not the City that we've known of the past. Like, it's like some teams are no longer afraid of this season we're no longer afraid of City like they were last season, where they just sit back. They took the game to City. So I think that he's really improved for a manager who, yesterday I was on the stream and we're talking about it, and they said, well, he hasn't won anything in 4.5 years. I said, but he's won the FA Cup. Oh, that was not his team. I said, okay, so let's do this. If that was not his team and that was Unai Emery's team, and you don't want to associate the FA Cup with him, then you cannot associate the first year of him coming ace with him, because that was Unai Emery's team. So remove that first year, which means what you're saying is Arteta has been with us for 3 years. And in those 3 years, he's challenged twice. Point at another manager who started his career and in 3 years, according to their status, has challenged twice after his first year of rebuilding. Because that's what they're saying. If you want, so these are the kind of conversations that I like to have, where it's, it's very simple. We can see that he has improved. Now, will I take another manager better than him? This is where I stand. Yes, I will. Because I'm not sentimental. I'm not sentimental. I want my club to do well. But
Yeah.
the only condition that I'll take a manager better than him is, one, if they're available, if they want to come to my club, number 2. And number 3, if he regresses. Arteta has not regressed. He's not stagnated, and he has not regressed. And right now, the managers that I would like are not available. I want the Zidanes of this world. He's not going to come. We're not going to get him. I want Ancelotti. We're not going to get him. Inzaghi, we're not going to get him. It's not the money. It's the, will they leave where they are and come take over the Arsenal job? Like,
True.
Hansi Flick is available, and people are like, yeah, Hansi Flick. I'm like, yeah, I rate Hansi Flick, but I don't think he's for us. But if he's going to come, I'll take him. Right. So these are the conversations. Like, if they're available and I want to go a step higher, Arteta, thank you for the rebuild. Thank you for the work you've done. This is why we brought you in. It's time to move on and stay at the top. I bring in the right person. If the right person is not available, I stick with him because he's not regressing. He's not going backwards. We're not stagnating. We're still literally competing and chasing the biggest club in the last 10 years of the history of the Premiership. Liverpool did this back to back for how many years? And everybody like, oh, Liverpool is such an amazing team. Klopp has been doing such a great job. But once it's Arteta and it's the last day of the season, fighting for the trophy, oh, you guys are bottle jobs. Like, it doesn't make any sense, So
I hear you.
So yeah, so I would keep him if he's not regressing. The minute he regresses, and regression for me is not just playing bad football or whatever it is. It's simply saying, if you lose more games than you did this season, right? You lost 5 this season. If next season you lose 7 games, you started regressing. It's time to go. Because
True.
at this stage, you should not be losing anything. You should just be losing 3 or 2. That you should be setting your goals higher and saying, next season we we can only afford to lose one game. And that one game might be to Man City at the Etihad. Every other game, we have to win. That's the kind of goals that you have to start setting. And if he's not doing that, that's regression. You got to go, So yeah.
Yeah, let me bring Crunk into this. What's been your thoughts about Arsenal? Do you agree with some of the takes that Dyer made about his team, or do you have some other thoughts?
Dio makes some great points. What I like about the people of Arsenal is they're amazing spinsters. They are kings and queens of PR. They are fantastic. Like the way that he phrased Arteta's stay, because I mean he's 100% right. He's only been managing for 5 years. He worked under Pep for some time, so this is technically his first stint as a manager.
Yeah.
And it's a brilliant mindset, because in my brain I'm like, yeah, he's been there for 5 years. He needs to figure something out or get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just phrase it as, hey, he's only been managing for 5 years, he's still a baby. But with that mindset, I'm not sure if that's like the best, because if Arsenal's in a win now, can you win now with it? But also Dio put that up that, hey, you might have to move on from Arsenal. And I get that. And me, as a City fan on the precipice of a four-peat, I like to call it a quadruple because it pisses people off, because that's not what the word means. But, vibes over here, right? It's happiness. It was a little scary, but I was looking at our run of matches that we had. Our last draw was March 10th, a 1-1 draw at Anfield. And then our last loss was in 2023. We have to go back to the end of last year. Aston Villa, I remember that match. I remember the meltdown. I didn't touch social media for a whole day. When City don't play well, I don't want takes. I don't want thoughts. I personally need to sit and marinate in my thoughts. And I can't have the craziness of social media kind of stanking that up. It's been tough. KDB out, Haaland out. Our defensive line cannot be consistent. That's been a struggle. Akanji has been our key defender, and no one really would have thought that when we brought him in a couple of years ago for 17 million pounds, euros, whichever currency that is. He was a steal. Ake, he's hurt. That's not been a problem. John Stones, he was so key to what we did last year. He's hurt. That hasn't been a problem. Ruben Diaz has kind of put us in some real weird situations this season and still hasn't been a problem. The team doesn't even feel like we're playing our best football at this moment. Luckily, it's at the end. We got handled by Real Madrid when it comes time to that. There's a reason why they have all of those Champions League titles. That dark magic was dark magicking. So shout out to them. But that allowed the team to rest, to get multiple days of training and practice, which they don't do. Pep is a big fan of making sure players get as much rest as possible. And that's why the match against Tottenham, the thought among a lot of City fans was the players looked leggy. And I don't think it was leggy. It's just all they really have been doing is practice. When you're in that run of playing 3 games, a game every 3 days, a lot of it is just your body's moving because you're used to this. You've been relaxing, you've been lounging, you're playing with kids, you're hanging out, you're watching you're catching up on some Netflix shows that you told your missus that you would catch up on when you got some free time. Now you got some free time. So now she's making you sit down and spend time with them when you should be out there working on your drills and things like that. They're inspired. They're ready. West Ham, do they really want to push Arsenal to the precipice of getting this Premier League? And I know that's an awful mindset. Everyone was already so mad at Tottenham, and I really shouldn't be saying too much because I watch women's football, and this morning I had to low-key rely on United to handle business, and we saw how that happened.
Bro.
And yeah, right. And so it was like I get it. But I don't know what to tell y'all. I have already went and bought me some bubbles, and I plan on blowing those all day tomorrow for our Unity West Hamster. We're out here, baby. It's a one big family on our way to another Premier League title. I don't know what to tell people.
Okay.
I mean, there's four outcomes tomorrow, regardless of how we all look at it. And the four outcomes, it's 50-50 for both teams. Of course, it favors Manchester City more because, like I said, 11v11 against West Ham, they are a far superior team and they're probably going to win. But the four outcomes are very simple. We lose to Everton, City become champions immediately. City tie with West Ham, we become champions on goals difference. City lose to West Ham, we become champions on goals difference. We tie with West Ham, City becomes champion. So those four options are there. So there's, and this is football. Like I know for a fact that City is going to beat West Ham. Like I've settled that in my mind because they're a better team. But I've seen crazier things happen in football. You know, for example, I saw the PGMOL and this tweet with the PGMOL link where they finally drew the lines on Kevin De Bruyne, the goal against Tottenham, the first goal. And they actually now said it's offside. And I'm like, see, you didn't draw the lines there. No. Hear me out. It's allowed. No. I'm not blaming that on the game. What I'm saying, it's allowed. This is part of football. These are the things that look, regardless of what it is, that is how the narrow margins are. Even if Kevin is offside by a nail, right? If you don't catch it by a nail, you don't catch it by a nail. It tells you how good Kevin is to actually hold himself back enough for you not to catch it and then do the pass. So I'm not saying, that's like, no, I'm just letting you know that these are the fine margins that you're looking for. Where you're like, okay, hey, this is crazy. They pulled this off because the computers were there, they looked at it, but they still couldn't pick it out until and that's the same thing. It's like when you do an investigation, the first time the police get to the scene, there are things that they might miss. And then after days of overlooking it, and then they're like, oh yeah, we found this. So it's okay for them to come back and say, hey, look, it was meant to be, but you know what? In real time, we wanted the game to go on. You can't. And the player was good enough to hold himself back. It happened with Arsenal, Gabriel. I don't remember who we played, where he froze. He literally, if you see the picture, like he literally froze, and they said it was his bum that would have been offside. Like the way he froze, he jumped back and these are the fine margins. Like it's stupid. It's crazy. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, it's like, for me, it's key that we look at those options. I'm looking at those options because anything can happen in football. But on one hand, I've clearly stated to myself, like it is what it is when it comes to skill set and when it comes to comparisons. 11v11, West Ham is going down. I just want us to focus on Everton and go out with a win. That's all I care about right now. Yeah, I'm like we go out. Like as long as I'm not even because it's easy for the players to be on the pitch and be like, City is going to beat West Ham, and you're thinking about it during the game. Everton is not playing for anything right now except just for brag. Not even brag. Everton is playing for their own ego. The players are playing for player pride. Like I'm a footballer. I'm being paid to do this. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do my job. We are playing for something, and the thing we're playing for, somebody else is playing for it as well. And we know that the people that they're facing, they're far superior to that person. So that mentality has to be strong, and that's all I care about. If we have a strong mentality, we go out in the Emirates, we do the business, we smash Everton. I want us to smash Everton. That's what I want. I'm just like, the last game of the season, go out with a bang, just do the business. I mean, we were told by the Premier League, usually at the last game of the season, most teams wear their next season's jersey. That's what most teams do. But we've been told to wear our old jersey. We can't wear next season's jersey because there's a 1% chance that it could be us winning, and they want the pictures to be done in that.
Can't be in the future.
No. I'm just but the fact that you have to do that though, that's something that is not being done normally. City are going to wear their old jersey. We're going to wear our old jersey. Usually, it's just the team that is winning that is wearing their old jersey. Every other person is wearing their next season's jersey. So my point is, the fact that I'm in that conversation, I'm good. And that simply tells that's a message to City that I'm in that conversation with you back to back 2 years. Like the first year, you had 5 points. This year, I took you down to the wire. Come next season, Pep or no Pep, if Arteta is not regressing,
Pep or no Pep, are we doing this?
No, I'm saying Pep or no Pep, come next season. That's the goal. Like, what do you mean are we doing this? Let me ask you a question.
I'm not doing this.
No, hold on. Do you remember a guy called Mike Tyson?
Yes.
Yes. You know, when he was in his prime, right? There was a fight that he had with a guy called James Buster Douglas.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
everybody said, Mike Tyson is going to crush this dude. And Buster Douglas said, well, you know, Mike or no Mike, whatever it is, I'm going to go in there and do my best. That was Mike Tyson's first knockout in his prime.
Ooh.
So
In
is
his
West
prime.
Ham Buster
No,
Douglas?
no. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, I said, come next season. You're not listening. I said, come next season, Pep or no Pep, we have to then come in with that mentality. Like, this is not about City anymore. This is about us and where we want to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so yeah, so for me, if City still wants to be, if City fans want to be arrogant and say, well, we've done this, we've done that, I hear you. You have
It's
every
not
right.
arrogance.
No, you have no, you have every
Oh,
no. I'm saying, I'm not saying you, I'm saying generally, if City fans want to be that
yes.
way, they have every right to.
I don't think
No,
they do.
they
I
do.
don't
They
think
do. Look, you have every right to be arrogant and be proud and be and talk it up about what you've won and what you've not won. And I also have every right as an Arsenal fan to say, look, right,
Mhm.
I'm coming for your crown. I also have every
Yes.
right to say that. And so I would
But
say
can,
that.
but can you let us call us arrogant? Like there's a difference between being arrogant and in a world where we have to deal with United fans, Arsenal fans. Like we deal with a world of teams with fan bases that talk their stuff. They are confident. They are both. Most City fans that I know I talk to. I'm not really the whole like general chaos people with banter on. I like talking real football and emotions and thoughts and stuff like that. So there are a lot of City fans I know, they're worried. It's not until like the 88th minute in a match that they're finally starting to relax and be like, oh, shoot, we got this. Yes, West Ham,
I get that. Yeah.
it should be a win, but
Mhm.
we have one person on our show that does not want us to celebrate. We all think City are going to win, but there was no celebrations to be had because this is the most business end of the season. Like you have to play out, you have to follow through. Again, we saw a bottling on the women's side for City. The last thing I can handle spiritually is City men falling apart at the end, and especially at
Imagine that.
home. Like there's no. I personally can't imagine it, but I also don't want to kind of like play with fate like that.
But
I do a
rivals,
lot.
rivals can imagine it though. That's the beauty of this conversation. Like,
Yeah, and as you
that's the,
should. But
you know, that's the beauty of it. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to imagine knowing that there is a EPL trophy right now at the Emirates and I don't get to lift it. I don't want. I mean, I literally have seen the celebration in my head at the Emirates. Literally. I've literally created like that's what I would do. But of course, I know rival fans are like they're going to carry that trophy and walk away from the Emirates slowly, and you cry tears as you watch it drive down the road, slowly
Oh.
down the narrow Islington Road highway back to where it came from. And I'm like, yeah, it is true. Like fans will imagine the negative for us, and I will imagine the positive for my team. But of course, being objective is to say in football, we've seen anything happen. Like,
yes.
for example, like I gave the example of when someone came up, Arsenal fan said to me, if we had beat Fulham and beat West Ham and beat Aston Villa, and I said, and my rebuttal, my immediate rebuttal, man, was this. I said, if Rodri did not choke a man and miss 3 games and City won those 3 games, that's 9 points. We're not even having this conversation. We are not, the trophy would be at City today.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would have actually done it at Tottenham. They would have given it to them at Tottenham Stadium with that 9 points. And that's what I told them. I said, so we can do if, buts, and maybes, but that doesn't but we can also talk about the football, right? And the football for me, Arsenal has played some of the best football that I've seen them play, in many years. We have literally come out of the mud. And now because rival fans cannot banter our football and where we're at, they just keep referring to, but you haven't won a trophy in 20 years. And I'm like, but that's not true though. That's not true. Because we talk about City treble. The FA Cup is one of it. It's one of the trebles that City won that year, right? But you don't want to count Arteta's FA Cup as a trophy, right? Yeah, but you count the FA Cup as part of a treble. Like that makes sense. Like you see what I'm saying? Or things like that for me is like, yeah, you say, oh, you haven't won it. Like you've never beat City properly. We beat City in the FA Cup to win that FA Cup. We beat Chelsea and we beat City on the road to winning that FA Cup. If most people remember. And this was with the so-called Unai Emery's team that was not Arteta's team, where he played a back 3 for the first time. And this was the coach coming fresh out of training school with Pep Guardiola. So, if we need to look at the fine print and the details, I can point out all the positives for my team. I can point out all the positives. For City, the one positive that I can point out is Pep Guardiola. that man, I believe that if he's tested properly, is probably not human. But that's my theory. Now, no, that's my theory because look, in my many years of watching football, I have never seen a manager who tweaks so much and somehow gets it over the line consistently.
So
Pep is always testing something. He's always testing something, and it's like he's 10 miles ahead of everybody. It's like literally the guy is thinking. I watched City win trophies without an out-and-out striker for many years. Remember, City was winning trophies without an out-and-out striker. Then suddenly they bring Erling Haaland. And then in that season with Erling Haaland, he goes off and pops off 50-something goals. They're like, we're dead now. City has brought a machine. And then in this season, he's not popping off as many goals, but yet here we are tweaking. Left back here, you go here. Okay, John Stones, now you invert. Okay, no, tomorrow, no, it's you that is doing. And I'm like, what's going on in his brain? Who is this guy and where did he come from? That's my real question. If they didn't make him in a lab, he's an alien. It's one of those two things.
Okay, yeah.
I give it to him. I give it like that is a positive for like City will not be where they are without that dude. Without Pep. There's no other manager that you're going to bring in now. There's no other manager you bring in right now. Like when people say, well, Arteta is not good enough, get rid of him and bring somebody that will win. I guarantee you, right? Anybody you bring in right now is not knocking Pep off that pedestal immediately. It took Klopp how many tries? And in the season where Liverpool won it, there was no title race. There was no title race. City was just poor that year, and Liverpool had won the league by March, April. And it was the COVID season, so it wasn't like, hey, so even Liverpool have never won it under pressure. Liverpool has never won, they've never won it under pressure as well. So yeah, I give it to Pep. I think that this Sunday, I think City run away with it against West Ham. But I always know that football is football. You know, the other day I was playing 6-a-side. I found myself doing a bicycle kick and he scored. I did not know how it happened. I just know my reflexes kicked in and now I'm hurting, you know, but it happened. So football is football. Anything
you did a Ganacho?
I did it back. The ball came off the board, came to me. I flicked it, and I suffered. Okay. I suffered a good landing, but I scored. But the good Lord knows I'm not going back for 2 months. The good Lord knows I am not going to.
Yeah,
I hear it.
And I know City. This confidence comes from being through it. I mean, originally the 93-20, that situation. Never really saw that coming. I mean, Gabby Jesus scoring on the last moments against Southampton to get our Centurions, all those years battling against Klopp. Now we're battling against Arsenal. We're battle tested, and that is in thanks for Klopp. I mean, losing to Tottenham in the Champions League, to Monaco, to Lyon. Those are a while ago, but those still haunt me in my dreams. I still don't rewatch those. If any of those games ever pop up on my social media, I'm immediately skipping past it. There's a lot of pain there. I love where the team is going. Depending on what City do in the summer, I could see Pep signing for longer. I appreciate you, Coach's Corner. Like the City fans that I know, we're not really that big and braggadocious. It's just really nice to enjoy it in the moment. So in the moment, post-match, I'm going to be talking my stuff. But I'm not going to lie, I couldn't remember who Arsenal were playing because all I'm focused on is West Ham. And that whole John Stones, when they're like, we see you guys next week. And he was like, oh, we play you guys? That is legitimately how I move now. To answer Bart real quickly, I don't really like touching the Pep versus Sir Alex because one, I'm American. It's a Spanish dude versus England. Basically, if I say Pep, then I'm supposed to say Pep. This is American bias. Like I'm ignoring like all that other stuff. It just gets messy and weird. So I try to stay out of that conversation.
Bart, that conversation, you have to realize that there's a bunch of people that you can put into the category of the greats, right? Because if you say greatest of all time, is Sir Alex Ferguson greater than the coaches who coached in 1882 that we don't have their details? We don't know how many wins they did. We don't have that to compare him to, you know. So what you say is yes,
You're
Sir
saying there were
Alex
tactics
Ferguson.
like that in
Yeah,
1882?
exactly. Like you've not seen how they played without boots, without when they had people actually being the pitch, when human beings would sit down and crouch their knees to be the side pitches, and that's how you knew where the throwing line was, like things like that. Like, of course we can't, it'd be silly to then say, oh, greatest of all time and all that. You can say in
This is
everybody's
Arsenal hate.
in everybody's era, there was always a great. Sir Alex Ferguson, for 9 seasons, won 7 seasons out of 9 during his era at one time. He went 7 seasons, and in that 7 seasons, did a treble in that 7 seasons, right? So you need to understand, that's a massive achievement, But seeing Pep do something, seeing Pep do something similar in his era, where he's gotten 5 now. I mean, 5 now out of 6, and he's also done a treble. And now he's trying to do a 4-peat. But at the same time, you can say these are all great managers. Sir Alex came before Pep, and you can put everybody in their category as, these are some of the greatest of all times, and say, hey, this is what they did. Because if you're going to go record for record, it doesn't make any sense. Record for record, and I'll say why it doesn't make any sense. Football has changed since the times of Sir Alex Ferguson to the time of Pep. Football has totally changed.
Oh my God! If you say money, I'm gonna lose it.
No, not money. Some of the rules have changed. Some of the rules have changed. Goal line technology, for example, where they didn't have that in the past, and referees did not allow certain goals that would have added more wins to Sir Alex's portfolio. Right? We can look at things that have, but we're looking at, VAR being introduced. We can look at things that are different in football and say, well, during this era of football, you are the greatest of all time. During this era of football, you are the greatest.
I mean, Fergie is the greatest for me, but
I totally get where
I understand that.
From.
Yeah, I understand that.
But you can't, because if we don't factor in the changes that have come into football, if, for example, now we do 5 changes. It used to be 3. Now
I hear the point.
Imagine Sir Alex
Ferguson. You're reaching, my boy. You're Stretch Armstrong.
It's not about reaching. It's about, I'm talking about facts. Think about it. You played, if you are the coach.
This isn't facts. These are what ifs and what about.
No. I'm talking about, let's say you're a coach of a team and I'm a coach of a team, and we go head to head. I'm allowed to change 5 players. You're allowed to change 3. Is that fair? And in the same, like you and I are playing. So let's say Arsenal and City are playing. City can only change 3 players.
You're saying.
My point exactly. I'm saying the era is different. So you can call them both greats in their era because of.
But you're saying because of that we can't compare them. Of course we can compare them.
I'm saying you can't
compare. We can still compare. I'm just not going to entertain it.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously people can feel their own ways about it, but I'm also the type where can we just vibe and enjoy and appreciate the people for other in America. I don't do the MJ versus LeBron thing. I don't do that either, because
that's what I just said, though.
People.
But that's what I just said.
But you were like, metrics.
No. It's not
about subs.
No.
I'm just saying. I don't.
Hear me out.
I hear you. Trust me.
I was giving reasons why I don't compare them, which is they both came up in different eras. And because of those different eras and the differences, the simple nuances, I will never compare them. Like the MJs and the LeBron, different eras. LeBron would not have survived in the 90s, where they were crushing people and smashing people the way they played. LeBron with Dennis Rodman would have dunked on his head in a bad injury. Like, we're talking the 90s with the Bulls and the way they played. As compared, like, I'm talking
LeBron James.
No, I'm saying the physicality, though, the kind of fouls that were allowed, the kind of technical fouls that were allowed. Let's be honest about it. Like, do you remember Roy Keane and Vieira? The tackles that these guys are putting in this day of football, you're out. You're out for 3 games immediately. But back then it was allowed. They don't even get a yellow card for that.
Yeah, but that's also because the players are much faster.
But that's what I'm saying.
Everything's lighter.
Which is why I said it's different eras. So I hear, that's why I don't compare them. I watched a Nigerian footballer who was a defender for us, Brighton Mokaro, in the 80s, right? He used to take out people's kneecaps intentionally with those metal studs. Like, he goes for your kneecap on a tackle and they don't card him. This was back in the day. Like, so I'm saying, and when you talk about him, they'll say, oh, he's one of our best defenders. I'm like, he was just dangerous. Like, but for that era, it suited the type of football that they played. So yeah, I'm just not going to compare them. I think they're both great. I think they both set records. I think they both set records that are unbelievable to reach. If you want me to compare them, I will put both of them in their prime in the same league at the same time if I can recreate them, and then let them both go head to head. Then we can compare them.
Okay. I hear it. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. The thing is, though, that conversation, it'll be so it's so nuanced, you
Yeah.
know. Some people
Comparison
that'll
is the
be on
thief of
Pep's
joy.
side, other
I
people
just
with
don't like it.
Fergie. It is what it is. I think it ends up being very, I don't know, subjective at the end of the day.
Mhm.
But it is what it is, you know. But I hear both of you guys' point for sure. Big up to keeping it real, Chelsea. Hope you're doing well. Says thank you for Man United for helping Chelsea again this week. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that game was not good. The ladies let me down.
I'm so sad.
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm so sad.
But it is what it is. Big up though. Congratulations to Emma Hayes, I guess.
I guess.
Congratulations, I guess. But either way,
Goodbye.
yeah, goodbye. Good riddance. Bye-bye. That's how I'm gonna feel with Pep when he leaves as well.
That's fair.
I can't.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, we've been talking about both of the, you know, both of you guys' team, of course. But let's move on a little bit more to City, and then we'll try to, for the remaining minutes of the show, we'll then talk about the other games. But I want to hear from you, Kronk, more so about with my guy. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm from Norway, so I've been seeing Erling. I mean, we say Erling, but Haaland. That's how we pronounce his name here. But I know I've been a big fan of that guy for years, and following his whole career from Molde all the way to RB Salzburg to Dortmund and of course to Man City. It's been amazing to see. It's just annoying that he does it for, you know, Man City. But I want to get your point with how this guy right here, Roy Keane, when he made some very sus comments about Haaland in terms of him being kind of like a League Two player when he wasn't maybe doing very well after his injury. But I think a lot of people be forgetting he still has scored what 27 goals now in the league.
27. Yeah.
But he was injured for 2 months, and he's still the top goal scorer. So I want to get your thoughts about how important Horn has been since coming back, especially now the business end of the season. How integral has he been a part of that, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, the Midwest in me says his name very weird.
Oh no. Hey, go ahead.
It's he does the amount of goals that he scores with the little amount of touch that he gets. He's trying to grow himself as a footballer, which is tough for him because I don't want to say he's never really had to, but the things that he has had to work on is just tightening up what he's good at. And Pep is never okay with you being a king at one thing. He'd much rather have a bunch of jack of all trades. And we saw with Aguero when he came in, and we knew what Aguero can do when it comes to goal scoring, but that wasn't what Pep wanted out of a player. And there were some painful times as City fans watching Aguero on the bench, not even getting a chance, Pep telling us that he's not going to get a chance. It's good to see Haaland trying to do this. We need him. We're going to need him because, yes, Julian, he can hop in and help out when he can. All of these players still have some steps to make. The drop-off after Haaland is it's significant and it's scary. Honestly, it's just like Rodri. It's just like when we lose KDB. When it comes to creativity, I mean, there are ways to make up for what KDB does, thankfully, because of Phil now. But Haaland, he's irreplaceable. We will never be able to replace him. The only thing we've been able to try to do is other players are scoring because what he has been our best part for the season is just the gravity of him. Is every single time he has the ball, at least 3 players are watching him. So that frees up space. And what we just need more out of our players next season is to be more aware of that space that he's taking up from the defenders, and our players need to attack that space with more confidence, either with the correct pass, with speed, because a lot of our passes they're inching, they're super soft. Just a lot of stuff with conviction, with confidence, a lot of 1s, 2s, and Haaland, he's kind of he's embracing a lot of the contact with his back to the goal, where I think he needs to use his arm length, his strength and stuff. And I'm looking forward to the growth that he can do, because the idea that Haaland is still very much a raw diamond, and he can still become so much better, more clean, more precise. It's a terrifying ideal.
Yeah, I think sometimes people be forgetting how clinical. And I mean, we know how clinical it is, but it's not just a finisher. I do think sometimes maybe we don't really see more of his all-around game in this Pep system. But I think we saw it, at least for me, I saw it way more with Dortmund, especially when it came to counterattacks. The partnership that he had with Jadon Sancho. Wow. That was pretty good. You
It's the
saw a
Pep.
lot
It's the
more.
Pep system.
Yeah,
It's the Pep system,
exactly.
and there's nothing wrong with that. I think people
Nothing wrong with it. No, no.
yeah, people just need to accept. Like, see, Haaland as a player, right, is young. People forget that he's young. He's 22.
Yes.
The boy is 22. If
He's actually 23.
he just
24.
he's 23 actually. Yeah. If I started early, I'll be
Still
his
young
father.
though.
If I started early, I'll be his dad. Like, it's true. If I started at 15, 16, I'll be your daddy. What you talking about, Erlen? Like, come here. Sit down, boy. Like, that's the truth. He's still young and he can only improve. He can only improve, you know. So for people to say, oh, well, because he was out of form for a little bit and he wasn't scoring and make statements like that, I think that's just disingenuous. I think that was just him being that was just banter, and or you know, because it's Man City and because he's Man U. I think that's where that came from, and it's very unprofessional when you're a pundit.
Oh yeah.
But I can't blame him because he bleeds Manchester United red on the inside. It's hard to keep that, you know, rivalry quiet when you're speaking as a rival fan. But to try to shit on Erling and say he's a League Two player, I think is just dumb.
Yeah.
He can only get better because he's young and he's playing in a system. And that's the thing about playing in a system is it's like Foden. Every time Foden is unleashed, right? You see that this kid on his own, just like Cole Palmer as well, you can see that this kid on his own can actually carry a team. But because he plays in a system that Pep has arranged, you just see him play in the system. You're like, all right.
I want to address the system thing,
you know, no. See, hear me out. Nobody's saying it's a bad system. What we're saying is
I'm not. I'm just saying I too want to just also speak of the system when you're done. When you're done.
Pep has set up a system that he's designed to win. That's his thing. His thing is, we will play my system because it's going to win us trophies. We are going to win with it. Of course, every now and then you can be flashy and take the bull by the horn and drive down and dribble two players and shoot the ball and score. But out of possession, this is how I want you to be. In possession, this is how I want you to be. When they have the ball, you press like this. This person moves, and then you other two have to move here. Like, Pep has his thing cut out, like the way he wants it done. And it's impressive. It's impressive for a manager to sit down there and think of 100 different ways that the other team will play against them and how to stop it, and how 100 different other ways and how they would win, and implement it by just saying, when you move, he moves, you know. And yeah, so I'm you know, excited to see what happens next season on how we step it up and buy more players, fill out the gaps. You know, we get the right pieces, and we go again whether we win on Sunday or not. But like I said, I'm just happy to hear the news that they have 2 trophies. One is there at the Emirates and one is there at the Etihad. So it simply means that even the Premiership knows that there's still, mathematically a chance, but they also realize
it is.
Yeah, but of course, but they also realize that, look, it's City versus West Ham. City is probably going to take it, but it is what it is. You have to go by the rules and set it up that way, just in case Rodri decides to choke another man, just in case, you know, what's his name, Ortega decides, it was 2 more minutes, a back pass, and then catches it and then it trips out of his hand and rolls into the net. Just in case, you know, you never know. You never know. All I'm saying, you never know. You know,
you never know.
You never know. It's football. I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, my fingers are crossed. My prayers are that City will beat themselves, because I know West Ham can't beat them. So my prayer is not, oh, West Ham beat City. I'm not supporting it. I'm just saying, City, beat yourself. You go make the mistakes. You go. You know, the 2 minutes of jittery, whatever needs to happen. If you fumble it, then great. But I know that that's all you can ask for, that City make a mistake by themselves. You can't ask West Ham. You can't ask West Ham.
That happens.
Yeah, you can't ask West Ham to beat them. And so if City don't make a mistake, it's gone. The only thing that can stop this game is City themselves actually making the mistake.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
If they
West
mess
Ham,
up, yeah.
West Ham cannot do anything to them, and so
True.
let's
I
just
wanna
hope that they make
quickly-
the mistake.
I do want to address this whole system because a lot of people say this, and even City fans say this whole the system. It's the system that are holding people down. Pep sets that system up for you to succeed. It is up to the player to take what Pep teaches them and to make the right passes. We saw it early last year when Haaland first came. Phil Foden had to learn to make those square passes to Haaland for those tap-ins. What has he done now? They definitely get those square passes in to Haaland. Daku, earlier in the season when he was getting his runs, he wasn't looking up in time to feed Haaland the ball. Even like KDB, the reason why Haaland scored all those goals last year is because KDB, the technique, the confidence, the self-belief, and also we saw him get at it with Pep. He's not too worried about what Pep will say, and Pep is only angry if it doesn't play off well. If you make those passes and then we lose the ball and then you don't run up to try to help the press and win the ball back, that's when he's mad. But if you make the pass and it doesn't go well, if you're then pressing, we can now take advantage of the ball being further up the pitch. We can win it back. We can score from there. It's one wrong decision isn't the bad thing. It's just what you do from there. And a lot of our players, they just don't have that confidence right now, whether it's because Phil is playing from the left instead of the center. Is it because Phil now needs to learn that he has to hold the ball a little bit more tighter because KDB is very loose with the ball? Like, bro is making these passes. He's giving the ball away a lot. Rodri having to play on all three levels of the pitch. So really, how much can he control? We don't have the control of Grealish like we did last season, so we're trying to make it up with our defenders, and you really shouldn't have your defenders as like your main terms of distribution. Pep's focus this year, like you said, Dio, is just to win. So that's why City have all of these 1-0, 2-1 wins. It's ugly. This has been the ugliest season, and I expected this. At this time last year, after we won the quadruple, I love forcing my team to make way too early, very bold predictions. And we said we were going to win it again. I was hoping for another treble. I guess I'll take a double. That's my sounded like an ass at moment, so I'll reel it back. But it is what it is. We got to take what it is.
Man U is going to beat you in the FA Cup final. That I'm sure about.
No, you don't think that.
It's Wembley. It's
I
Wembley.
don't even get it.
What does that have to do with anything?
Okay,
everybody plays in Wembley like 25 times a year.
You will find out at Wembley. Your record at Wembley is not the best, though. Your record, and this is not based on we can talk. And this is why I tell people that football, anything like if we're talking about at the Etihad, you kill them. Old Trafford, you will beat them, but you will struggle because it's Old Trafford. There's something about being in a place where you're comfortable, right? Even when you're playing badly. We've seen this happen many times. We had a worse off team than you when we played you in Wembley and won the FA Cup. We had a worse off team. Our team was crap. We had Rob Holding in defense. Dude, what are we talking about here? Like, I didn't even give us a chance. But what I'm saying is, when you get there, it's different, man. Yeah, in the league, we can talk about the fact that it's clear your difference between and again, the reason I say why it's going to be tough for West Ham is coming to the Etihad. But the only team this season that stopped you from scoring at the Etihad, you scored at the Etihad throughout the entire season. Arsenal is the only team you did not score against at the Etihad, who held you to a 0-0 draw. So that record is there at the Etihad that you will score against West Ham. But at Wembley, that record is also there. Your record at Wembley is not the best. So, man, you have a better record at Wembley than you do. And that's the thing that you need to look. Like, I look at those kind of things. I know you're a better team. Don't get me wrong. You're a better footballing team. But there's precedence. Just the same way there was precedence when you went to Tottenham. You hadn't scored there in the league. And there was that tension. When the first goal went in, I'm sure you guys we broke the hoodoo. We finally scored here since 2019.
The same way in the FA Cup.
And I said, but you hadn't scored.
Exactly.
Hear what I said? In the league, you hadn't scored at that stadium in the league since 2019. In the FA Cup, yes. I'm saying it's a knockout tournament. You scored at stadium, they're great. The same way we hadn't beat you, right? Until we beat you at the Community Shield. right? All right, great. Oh, that's Community Shield. Everybody threw it away. Then you came to the Emirates and we won. Oh, that's the Emirates. Now go to Etihad. Same thing. We drew. So my point is, there are some hoodoos you need to get off your back. We had not beaten Tottenham up until 2022-23 at their stadium for like 9 years. And then we finally went there and won 3-1 last year. And then this year we won 3-2 again. So it's like getting a hoodoo off your back. So I'm saying Wembley is a hoodoo regardless. You know, Old Trafford is a hoodoo for Arsenal. We hadn't won there in 16 games. 16 matches up until we won this 1-0. And they were terrible. Look at who they played. Dude, we could have run 6 goals by them, but we just couldn't because it's still Old Trafford. You have to, those things count for something. I'm telling you, the gods of football are not joking. They exist. Those things count for something. It's a hoodoo you have to break. It's a hoodoo. And for me, I don't believe in like magic or whatever. I just believe in the fact that when teams have racked up a certain number of wins or losses in a particular place that is not their home, it becomes harder to break it. You know, and once you break it, it shows mentality. And of course, City are mentality monsters. So let's see, you know, we'll see what happens there.
As the famous actor Michael Clark Duncan said in the Talladega of Ricky Bobby, Dio, don't you put that voodoo on me.
I ain't putting it on you.
Put that voodoo.
No, I ain't putting it on you. I'm just letting you know about it so you can start prepping to break it. That's the thing. If you're aware of it, I'm saying like if you're aware of it, if you're aware of it, then you know what you're going in for. It's like saying if I know that I have to beat someone. Okay, so I did judo in college. There are people who like when we go to competitive games and then they reel out their names and then they're like, oh yeah, 2-time Commonwealth silver medalist, 1-time University Games gold medalist, 3 times. In your mind you're like, oh, this is who I'm up against. And then when they call your name, they don't even call it. Just like Andayo in the bird corner, you're like, oh my god. It's like you're just plain old Dio. But if you know who you're going up against, then you can find a way to beat that thing. That's all I'm saying. It's like just being aware of what you're dealing with and not
I get you.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not putting no voodoo on nobody. I have no dog in that. I have no dog in that fight. I don't really care, to be honest. In that fight, I'm just saying, like, for good football's sake, I would love to watch a game where hoodoos are broken. I don't like both your teams, but I would love to watch a game where it's okay, somebody broke a hoodoo at least. And look at this. This is what happened. I can tell the stories to my son and be like, even though you're not the best player on the pitch, look out for somebody's hoodoo and play to it. Let them know you guys haven't won here as much as we have. This Wembley belongs to us. Tell them.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that this Premier League season is done tomorrow. Then I'll focus on the FA. I cannot. I can't start thinking about that right now. But big up though, Dio, for the motivation. Woohoo!
Yeah, right.
Hey, look, everybody needs motivation against. We're talking City. Everybody needs motivation against them. And this is no dig at City, right? This is just us saying, like, we have to reach for other things to be able to beat City. You need more than what you have in your players, in your manager, your coach, mentality. You need everything working in your favor. You need it to rain on their side of the pitch and not rain on your side of the pitch. Or rain on your side of the pitch where they slip and doesn't rain on that. Like you need. Yeah. I'm telling you, you need way more. Like, and I'm saying this from a good. I'm not trying to banter you. It's just I've seen teams build levels in eras. Right, this is a level over a level that I haven't seen because of Pep. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's why I'm like, there's more. Because tell me, in what normal world, the record Arsenal has this season. Let's put City out of the picture. In the turn of 2024. 18 games, 16 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
And you're 89 points, and you are not going to win the league.
Yeah, no, that'd be frustrating.
I mean, like, when you think about it from that point of view, just like, we need to add that. Not just add, we need everything working in our favor. When you look at the table, 27 wins City, 27 wins Arsenal. Okay, we both have 27. What's the big difference here? And then you go to draws. City draw 7, Arsenal draw 5. Then you go to losses. City lose 3, Arsenal lose 5. And then you ask yourself,
fine margins. You're
like, this is insane. Like, in any given season, we've seen the greats of Wenger and Alex Ferguson. I'm not saying they're in the same category, but they both went head to head, win the league with 75 points, 78 points. We hadn't seen the likes of 100 points until Man City showed up. Crazy people. Now, if you don't get 95, you can't win the league.
Oh,
I hear you.
that's
I hear you.
fun.
Yeah, that's another hoodoo. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
didn't know
that.
this.
I
If-
like
if-
that.
Sophia, you heard me at the beginning when I said I'm more concerned
Big
about us, and
Shawty.
I said I'm concerned about us and Everton. We focus on Everton, and this is where we smash them because we don't have a good record against them. So Arteta doesn't have a good record against them. So
No.
these are some of the things that I look at. The positive for us is what the Emirates. They're coming to the Emirates. That's a good thing. So the atmosphere for us will be on our side.
Yeah.
But now it's about the managers, Sean Dyche and Arteta, who Arteta has not beaten Sean. So now it's about the managerial. So Arteta needs to
He
keep
gotta
his cool.
learn. He gotta showcase. Have you
Yeah.
learned?
He got to show. He got to
Right.
keep his cool. Tell the boys to do what they need to do. Make sure he's not looking at Dyche through the eye like, I've not beat this guy. I've not beat this guy, and then lose track of what the boys are doing. And just focus on your team and get what you need to get done. He might tell them to play pragmatic football like we did against Man U, which is go out there, hold the ball. When they have ball possession, let them keep it. They can't be dangerous at us. When we get a chance, score a goal, and let's just keep it nice and easy. He might tell them to do that. Fine. Maybe because he wants to win and he wants to get that thing off his back. Like, I beat Sean Dyche. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
everybody has something to play for, man. Sean Dyche has that to play for against us. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna come beat Arteta again. I need to come do it. Like, so there's always something to play for.
What do you guys think will be the score prediction for both of your games? Kronk, we start with you.
I'll keep it short and sweet. 3-0. We're going out in a big win. Haaland brace.
Ooh, okay. Who scores the third then?
Alvarez.
Okay. What's your prediction for the Arsenal game then? The same question to you, Kronk.
Oh, sorry. I could see a 4-2 for Arsenal. They beat Everton, but Everton, they're definitely going to make this annoying for Arsenal.
Yeah. And Dio?
I'll give you two sets of scores. What I think will happen, or what I know will happen, and what I wish will happen.
Okay. Go ahead.
What I know that will happen is City is going to beat West Ham.
Yep.
They're going to beat them like 2-0. They'll keep it pragmatic. They don't care because they just need to win. And Pep is not irrational. I've seen that he's a rational guy. He's going to go in there and say, look, do, and control. If you get more chances, score more goals, score it. But if you don't see those clear chances, don't give them a chance. That is what is going to happen, right? What I wish will happen is that it's going to end in a 1-1 draw. City score first, and 2 minutes to the end of the match, Antonio is trying to make his way into the box. And Guardiola, for some reason, hears his name being yelled by his coach Pep, and thinks Pep is calling him and turns his head. But by the time he realizes it, he throws that tackle in, and it's a penalty. And in that last minute, West Ham equalize 1-1. That's what I wish will happen. That's my wish.
I will remember that if that happens.
So for Arsenal, what I know will happen is we beat Everton maybe 1-0 or 2-0. I know that can happen. Like, that's what we're going to do. And what I wish will happen is that we beat them 8-0, just for the sake of beating them. Like, just smash them and get that hoodoo off our back. But I know we're going to beat them, say 1-0, or I predict the 2-1. I say we win 2-1. We win. I'll put it out the 2-1. Yeah, we'll beat them 2-1. But yeah. So my wish and what I know are two different things.
That's respect. That's real. Calvin Phillips will be let. There are invisible walls where Calvin Phillips, if he just tries to get into the city of Manchester, he will be stopped. It's just going to be an invisible barrier that he's just going to walk into. Calvin Phillips will not be let.
Has Calvin Phillips played 5 games for you guys?
Has he played?
If he's played
5 appearances,
if he's made 5 appearances, he's entitled to a medal. You can't stop him. That's the rule.
If he has, I'm not saying stop.
I'm saying
an invisible barrier.
I'm saying the people of I'm saying the people of City can't stop him. Not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying, like, you know how you said the invisible barrier.
The other ones that are angry.
They can't stop him if no matter what they do. If he's made 5 appearances, Ramsdale.
Obviously, if he wants to be there, he can be there. But it's like, Yeah, if he's played the games, but I feel like he might be 3, 4. I feel like they might have stopped him right before 5. I don't remember seeing him. I remember seeing him 3 or 4 times. I remember seeing him 3, maybe 4 times. I don't remember seeing him 5 times because that's
like
a
if like let's say in some alternative universe things work out for us, everything works out 100% for Arsenal, and we win it. Ramsdale
always
gets
not touching that trophy.
Ramsdale gets a medal as well, because he's appeared for us 5 times this season. I mean, of course, the first 3 games, and then against Brentford because Raya could not play against his mother club twice. You know, so those 5 games qualify him already, regardless of how many.
I wouldn't put Ramsdale and Callum Phillips though on the same. I'm not saying anything about.
No, I'm not comparing them. I'm just talking about the amount of times they appeared. I'm not comparing them. Yeah, okay, I'm just saying appearance wise, like any player who's appeared 5. I'm just giving an example in Arsenal. Like, let's say we won, a player who's appeared 5 times that, you know, people be like, why is Ramsdale getting the medal? Like, he's appeared 5 times. That's the rule, you know. Like if I've appeared 5
times, figure out, but I don't know.
Yeah, if I've appeared 5 times for Arsenal, I should get a medal. That's all the rule says. And I'll take it, man. You know, so.
Of course. For the remaining of the show, I want to also hear about your thoughts about some of the other games. So, we have, of course, Sheffield United versus Spurs. Do you guys think it'll be an upset in that game? Will Sheffield United show up, or will Spurs, you know, get the win?
Are Sheffield relegated already?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Sheffield United, if you can hear me, go into that game. You don't have to win, but make sure that you break legs so that there's injuries in Tottenham for the whole half of the first quarter of next season. Do what it takes.
Do not condone violence over here.
It's not violence. It's the it's a physical sport. It's not violence. I'm just saying it's a physical sport. Be physical, Sheffield United. Be a little bit more physical if you can, and just a tad little more physical when you see Son. Just, you know, like the kneecap, the elbow in the ear, excuse, you know, in the back kind of thing, you know, target the hamstring. Get 5 red cards, Sheffield, for all I care, but take out those players.
Here, the Arsenal fan.
It's Tottenham. I just don't like them.
No, it's real. I respect it.
I don't want them to win anything ever. So yeah, but you know, this is what's going to happen. Tottenham is going to beat Sheffield. That's the sad part of this. That's the sad part of it. Tottenham going to beat. They're going to beat Sheffield. So, yeah, I think Tottenham beat Sheffield. I was just being facetious.
They need it. Tottenham cannot lose this match, especially after losing to City the way they did, with them doing the positive with the City players, with Ange coming out saying this was the worst managerial experience I've ever had. They can't lose this match. Like, cannot.
By the way, I actually think Callum Phillips will be getting a medal if you guys win. I think he has been getting a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a few. Yeah. He got more minutes than I thought, honestly. I saw that and I was like, oh.
A lot on the bench. There's been some minutes where he's come on, he's played like a few minutes here and there, but he's gotten some appearances.
He's got the appearances. So that's the thing about the rule. I love that. I mean, and that's fair, enough, because those appearances that he made, it's not like you guys lost those games or he cost you the games. He was part of the team for the 10. No, he was part of the team for the 10 minutes or whatever it was. Call it he's part of the reasons why you're.
All those games he did.
Here's what I'm saying. You're part of the reasons. He's part of the reasons why you are where you are today, with the trophy in your sight. He's part of that story. Like, you can't take that away from him, and this is why I there. Yeah, and
he was riding along.
It doesn't matter what it was. Correct. Like, this is why I criticize Arsenal fans when they talk about certain Arsenal players, and I'm like, I don't care what you say about this player. He may not be up to standard for us, but when we needed him, I'll give a good example is Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah is not good enough for Arsenal, but we had him against Sheffield and he scored a hat-trick. Eddie Nketiah is not good enough for Arsenal, but we had him against Manchester United last season where he scored the 3rd goal. Eddie Nketiah is not good. I'm just saying. No, I'm just
Well,
saying,
I
like,
understand.
listen.
It's a great
So
great
no,
fact if we had that for Calvin Phillips. We
but
don't have
also,
positive experiences
no,
with
hold
him.
on. Listen, also the negative experiences with Eddie Nketiah in this season, where we've given him opportunities and chances where he could have scored and he did not, is probably the reason why we are here sitting down today saying, "Oh, if we had won this game when he played, maybe we'll be 3 points ahead." But he's part of that story. And if in some alternative universe something miraculous happens and Arsenal wins on Sunday, he's entitled to his medal and he's entitled to celebrate. I don't like it when people do that to players. It upsets me because those players are part of your story. They helped you get to where you are, and they should be entitled to enjoy the exact same level. Because if you had played somebody else in that game and it wasn't him, and he didn't get his minutes or his time, fair enough. Don't give him diddly squat. But you've called on him. He's done his bit, and he's done his bit and moved on. Hey, and you've loaned him out to where? You loaned him out to, he's at West Ham, right? You loaned him out to West Ham.
Dreadful.
Yep.
No, listen now. He's going to be in West Ham, and what if they play him and he's the reason why you guys win? He loses the ball to somebody in the box, 18 yard, and then you score your goal. Did he not work in your favor as well there? Excuse me. Give the man his medal and let him give the man his medal and let him enjoy it. I don't criticize him for it. I don't like that. Let people who have worked for what they worked for enjoy it. A laborer is worthy of his reward.
Oh, okay. Wisdom. I hear you. But okay, so if we go back to the Sheffield United and Spurs game, so both of you guys don't really see it being an upset. The Spurs probably will be doing what they need to be doing, right?
Yeah.
Or no? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, Spurs will.
Score prediction?
I say 3-0. I think 3-0.
I think
Okay.
like 5. Tottenham,
like
they
three.
have played 5.
Ooh.
If Sheffield figure out a way to score, I will be shocked. A homie of ours, the Red Half of Sheffield, they're a Sheffield United podcast. When I talked to him on our match in like December, I think it was, he was ready to get relegated. This has been a miserable experience for Sheffield United fans. They just want to get this over with, and I am positive the players feel the same exact way.
Yeah, they might just be on the beach. I hear it.
Yeah.
What about Chelsea Bournemouth?
Oh, Chelsea, they have to win. Just like they've been on fire. They have the best hair in the Premier League. I'm just gonna come out and say it. That club, they got the best hair in the Premier League. I love watching them play. I love the chaos. I love also the moments of just brilliance on the team that lets you see where they could go. Bournemouth, no, I'd never trust them, and I will never trust them. So Chelsea.
Okay.
It's a hard one to call, but I think it's going to be a draw. And the reason I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw is because Bournemouth is that type of team. They're annoying. They're annoying. And the thing about Chelsea is you don't know which Chelsea is going to turn up. Of course, now they're on the up and up and they're good. But when I mean you don't know which Chelsea would turn up is because they're a bunch of young players and they're still gelling, right? And then Bournemouth is that type of team that just somehow annoys other teams and comes in with that 2-1, and then you have to come back
I
and
know
win
that
2-2.
very well.
Like they're annoying. They're just I don't know why they're in the Premier League. I don't like them as a team because it's like they don't want to achieve anything, but they don't also want you to achieve anything. Like that, they are that team. Like they don't want to go forward, but you're also not going to go forward. So they're going to just spoil the party. They will hold a 2-1 lead until the 92nd minute, and then you have to come back. Like your team is playing crazy to just come back and tie the game 2-2. So I think it's going to end in the draw.
Okay.
And yes,
question for you here.
Oh, sorry. No, I just wanted to mention I did say hair constancy because, like, if you look at the players, I'm big into fashion, so that's why I said hair. Also, blackness. The hair is part of the culture. Madueke, Gusto, Chalaba, like even Cucurella and his curls, Mudryk, like they're a swaggy bunch of young dudes. So that's why I said hair.
I need to know Cucurella's hair care routine. Those curls are popping.
It looks ill de natural. It looks like he was just born with it.
Right.
Would Arsenal take Dominic Solanke?
Would you?
I personally would not.
Okay.
I personally, I think he's a good striker. Don't get me wrong. I do rate him. I rate Dominic Solanke, but I would not take Dominic Solanke if I had the other options available to me. If I had Isak available to me, I take Isak. I take Isak over Dominic.
He's such
That'd
a
be
good
scary.
You
player.
know, who else would I take?
Would you take Watkins?
I'll take Watkins over Dominic Solanke. I take
I
Watkins.
don't want that. I don't want
I'm
that.
just
What
saying.
about Tony?
I like Tony. I like Tony, but there's just something about Tony's style that I look at players and how they play and how they would fit into Arsenal. That's why I said I wouldn't take Dominic, because I'm trying to fit him in and see how he's going to work with, say, Leandro Trossard and Saka, and say like Odegaard behind him. Like I'm trying to picture his game and their game. Same thing with Tony, and of course players are coachable to become coach into a
Yeah, of
system.
course.
I know that he can learn how to play in that system. Like Rice, I read an interview with Rice, Declan, with the Athletic that he did about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they were asking him about his role in the team. Is he a 6 or is he an 8? And he says, "Well, I'm a 6, and this is how Arteta wants me to play, high up the pitch." And he was showing them like where so he said, "I've had to be coached and had to learn how to play in that role high up." So people think I'm a hybrid 8, but I'm actually a 6. And he's made that clear. So I'm like, of course we can coach the players, but I want players who also forget coaching, just attitude. We've dealt with the Aubameyang's of this world. I don't like some things that Tony does outside his football, and I don't want that in my club.
Here.
So yeah, like of course I don't know what Watkins does outside his football, because I've not heard any news. So I'll take him, and their numbers are not different. Solanke, Watkins. I mean, there's minimum margins between all three of them when it comes to numbers, that their output, not skill. I'm not comparing their skill set, people. I'm just saying the goals they score, their GA, it's similar in range. So I would take someone with a better attitude. They're all coachable into a system. Someone with a better attitude, and then we'll see if we can increase that GA for them in Arsenal. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Tony goes, or where, Isak for sure. He definitely, I mean, wonderful for Newcastle, of course, but I think the guy needs a bigger move to a bigger club.
It's
And
his
if
it's
Arsenal
his
gets him,
injuries. It's his injuries. I mean, I'll take Bruno
but if you
Guimaraes.
manage it properly and you have somebody that, you can switch between them here and there, I think he can.
Yeah, it's hamstrings and knees, so it's reoccurring. It's like Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah,
Those are reoccurring
I
injuries
hear
for
it.
footballers. Like if it was something else,
Yeah.
I'd be good with it. But I don't want, like, just look at Thomas Partey. We've only seen the Rice, Partey, Odegaard midfield maybe 3 or 4 times this season, and we've seen how good that midfield is. And that's why I was very upset with Thomas Partey. Like, you've been injured literally the whole season. I can only imagine, like, if we had you from the beginning of the season, maybe we don't lose the Fulham game, maybe we don't lose the West Ham game, maybe we don't lose the Aston Villa game, because our midfield seems to be better with you in there, you and Rice. Both of you are a good 6, and you're a better 6 than he is in ball distribution, and he's got lungs for days to go up and down the pitch, crash the box, score, set pieces, corner kicks. He's exceeded his season goal tally, GA Rice this season, and so have Havertz. So that just tells you that there's been an uptick in improvement in how we play. So yeah, let's see what next season has to hold. It's not done yet anyway. Sunday we see.
Yeah, for sure. And then what about, obviously, Man United, we're playing Brighton away tomorrow. Not really looking forward to that game, but what are your guys' thoughts, especially now that we know breaking news, De Zerbi's leaving, tomorrow will be his final game. Before I ask you about the game, what are your thoughts about De Zerbi leaving? And where do you guys think he'll be going? Grunt? Thoughts?
All I can think is Bayern, but actually I lied. Sorry, I gotta take it back, because Bayern has actually already said no. So I have no idea. I have no idea where he's going. Honestly, okay. I can say I have thought he's lost the locker room a long time ago. You could just kind of tell their inconsistencies, him not being able to get Fati up and moving. Like, how have you not been able to get that to work? There's just been a lot that's going on. There was so much promise, but with what he wants out of players and the team always reshuffling and a new batch of young players coming in, it's really tough to get them to accept that, especially to go all in to play this very like intellectual style of football when most of these players know they're going to be gone in a year. I don't know. It's tough. I think he needs to go somewhere, and wherever this is, it's somewhere that he can be there for a while and show what De Zerbi ball is, what that means with a place that wants to kind of stick with some players for a while and they want true success. Because Brighton, at this moment, I don't think they know what they want to do. And even to all the people that I talk to who support Brighton, I don't think they know what they want to do. Does Brighton want to just keep focusing on return of investment and just buy these 5 million players to sell them for 30, 40, 50, 60? Or do you actually want to succeed in the league, top six, make some actual noise in European football? Or do you just want to keep being Amex and making money? It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. No, I 100% hear you. Dio, I know you have to leave shortly. We will be ending very soon. I just wanted to hear your thoughts as well with De Zerbi, then quickly go into the Brighton Man United game, your prediction. Any thoughts?
De Zerbi leaving, I don't know where he's going to go to. That's the honest truth. But but I think people should go easy on the guy. The amount of injuries that Brighton had this season. I mean, every team has injuries. We saw what he did with the players when they were not injured. We saw how the team was ticking. Brighton was the threat to anybody. In fact, they were one of the teams that I was afraid of that would ruin our title hopes, and we struggled. We got past them, but we struggled past them. So for me, I think the thing is, with those injuries, it's hard. Him leaving now, where's he going to go? Like, where's De Zerbi going to go?
I was hearing maybe Barcelona. Somebody was saying.
Well, there's the rumor about Xavi probably getting fired because the president of Barcelona recently was upset with him again, even though they've agreed that he's going to stay one more year. And then the president is mad that he went to the press and he announced to the press he was leaving without really confirming with them first, or something like that, and that they might want to fire him again now. And I don't know if De Zerbi is the right fit for Barcelona. I don't know if he is, but you can never tell until you try. I think he's a good manager, and like I said, I think I remember somebody asking me, would you take De Zerbi at Arsenal? I said no. I said I wouldn't take him at Arsenal because Mikel Arteta is not regressing. Like there's a big difference. It's like the same way with Eric Ten Hag. I said I would fire Ten Hag and get somebody else because he has regressed. That's the big difference for me. In his first season, he came third. He won a League Cup. Just get some more pieces. And I understand the injuries. I get it. Like, for you to be playing Casemiro in center back, that tells you how deep the injuries are. I get that. But then if you're going to do that, then set your team up for a draw. Because you don't have to just set them up in such a way that's like you're not going to let them beat you.
Yes.
If you get away with a point and we see how you played, but like, you know what, with all the injuries, they played their hearts out and they did not lose. But instead, he still sets them up on this counter. And I see Garnacho, like, you tell these players, drop deep, play a mid block. You don't counter nothing until the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game. Let's give it a good go because
it's a little too late.
No, but I'm saying it's always better to, it's a little too late. He can't like redeem himself. So he regressed. And so for me, that's a manager out thing. Like if you regress, it's manager out.
I agree.
If you stagnate and just slightly get better, unless there's a manager better than you available immediately that will come to the club, that's the only time I'll change it. But if there's none, I keep you because I see that you're not regressing, you're progressing. So
yeah.
So I don't know where De Zerbi will go, but I think wherever he goes, he'll do well. I think he'll do well. He's a good manager. I rate him.
He probably will. Yeah. So in regards to the game tomorrow, or no, go ahead, Crump.
I just wanted to say the Bayern View, you're funny.
Yeah.
You're hilarious. But also, I always need more Bayern connections, so I will subscribe to. I'll find you, subscribe.
Yeah.
But you
Do it,
guys,
do it. You know the
you guys
job before.
took him from Bayern. You took Pep from Bayern now. So what are you talking?
Yeah.
If they want to take him back, they can come take him back.
He does.
You guys,
you
look,
think Pep
the
wants to go
Bayern
back there? That was
Bayern
he.
view,
He has
if you want
admitted
to take,
that.
if you can take Pep tonight, please take Pep tonight.
I bet you will say that, Dio. I bet
Please.
you will.
Take Pep. Take
Pep has
everything.
admitted that was the worst time of his career. Like he hated that.
Really?
Yeah, he was miserable there.
I'm happy for him.
Okay.
I want him to go back to his misery.
Exactly, Dio.
Misery
Let
likes,
him go back.
misery likes company. Let him go back there. They need company right now.
That's funny.
But yeah, what is your score prediction for the Brighton United game?
United 2, Brighton 1. I think United win the game, and I'll tell you why I think United win the game. United are going to win the game because the players that are back now from injury, you saw how they played the last time. United, they're playing for player pride in this game. That's all they're playing for. And they're playing for the badge as well. Like, this is Manchester United, player pride. Let's just do what we need to do and go out with a bang. I think Brighton, because of their injuries and De Zerbi's last game, De Zerbi's leaving, Brighton have half their players are already on the beach. It's like we have injuries, like, guys, let's just, you know what, hey, but we're going to remain 10th. Even if they win, they're going to stay 10th. And so it's like, if we win, we stay 10th. If we go 9th, we're not in relegation. It is what it is. We're not getting anything out of this season. Don't go out there and I'm not going to go out there and injure and hurt myself. I'll overplay, get a hamstring, and then be out the whole summer, which means I don't get to
Some
start
have, the competitions in the summer. Maybe,
yeah.
I don't know.
So I think United do a 2-1 on them.
Okay.
I think United will concede a goal, which is fair enough to say because they're still working on the way. But the way United played the last game, I have to say though, if they had played that way throughout the entire season, if they had played like that, because I'm now wondering, Eric Ten Hag, you still have these injuries, but how were you able to get them to play this way suddenly, like in second to the last game of the season? Like,
so annoying.
So it's
you
weird.
Could have fixed it for yourself, but you decided to make it difficult for no reason.
Yeah, it's weird to me how all of a sudden they're ticking, and I'm like, okay. You had Ahmad all through the season. You didn't play him. You had, I'm not saying that. I mean, of course, these are all discoveries when it comes to talent, and they may not be consistent. Maybe that's another thing you need to look at. So, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Kronk? Prediction for that game?
Brighton does not want to win. There are moments where it doesn't look like United wants to win either. I don't know who's going to win this match. Where is it? Is it at United, Old Trafford? Where is it?
No, it's at Brighton's ground, so the MX Stadium.
Ooh, it's going to be a draw. It's going to be like a 2-2 draw.
Okay. And the last game, Liverpool-Wolverhampton. I mean, Liverpool, they're third. Nothing to really play for. It's club's final game at Anfield. His, farewell. What?
F Liverpool.
I agree with that. But yeah. Yep.
Just the Shitterpool. Crap. Just
that's funny. That's what I've been feeling for years. But what is your score prediction? Do you think they're probably gonna win, right?
Who are they playing?
Wolverhampton.
The spirit of the wolf is alive.
I would love for that.
The spirit of the wolf is alive. You heard it here first. The spirit of the wolf is alive. I've said it 3 times. 3 times. Wolverhampton, do it for the cause. Just do it for the cause. So that I can shit on all them Liverpool fans. Do it for the cause.
Yep.
Go in there and give me. They're going to try to come back like they did with the 3-3 draw that they did the last time. And I don't even know why they allowed them draw the game. But you guys just go in there and break their hearts. 3-2. Break their hearts. They will think they'll think they're able to come back and get a draw in the last minute, and it's going to be called an offside, and then you're going to get the offside, and you're going to keep the ball in your corner for 2 minutes, and then when they come, you shoot it to their end, and the referee will blow, and the game will end, and they will all cry this summer. Do it for the cause.
I I'm just wondering, where did this hate for Liverpool? Why?
I mean, I'm happy he
Liver-
didn't bring this hate for me.
Liverpool
this entire time
fans.
in the city. I appreciate it.
Liverpool fans. It's the Liverpool fans who are
Okay.
telling me, like, oh, now you know how it feels. And I'm like, bro, let's be honest, right? What do you mean now I know how it feels? I mean, a title race till the last day. You've been there before. So what's the big deal? I mean, I didn't hate on you. When you were there, I just said, hey, Liverpool pushed Man City to the last day of the league. You're calling me a butler already when I still have a game to play. So yes, that's where the hate comes from. When it was your turn, the rhetoric that you heard me say was, oh man, Liverpool has pushed Man City to the end of the season again. Liverpool got 97 points and they didn't win the league. Man, that's crazy. Liverpool got 92, they didn't win the league. That's insane. Oh man, look, you never heard me say, oh, you guys bottled it. But they want to talk about how Arsenal bottled it last season with an 8-point lead, but don't want to talk about how they bottled it with a 10-point lead in 2018 or 2019. They don't want to talk about their 10-point lead that they bottled, but they want to talk about Arsenal's 8-point lead, right? And then they want to talk about Arsenal this season, saying, well, yeah, you guys, if you only had beat Aston Villa, I told you, if you had beat City, then you guys would have been able to be in the, like, well, if you had gone out and done what you needed to do, if you had tried to at least fight for something, maybe we would be in a better position too. So yeah, I don't want to hear it from them. So that's where the hate comes from. You know, I respect the club.
I love it.
I respect the club. I respect the club. I respect what they've achieved. But some of their fans, I respect what they've achieved. I respect what Manchester United has achieved. I call Man U and Liverpool when it comes to what you've achieved trophy-wise, numbers of trophies. I call you big brothers because we have the third most. That's all I say. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I give it up to them. It's not easy to have that amount of trophies, right? I totally understand. Now, outside that, some of the fans, really, when your team was doing it, you come on. Every media pundit was like, Liverpool has really pushed my Klopp and Pep rivalry. That's what they called it. Now it's Arteta. He's a butler in the same exact position, but he's a butler. Gosh.
Okay.
Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-2. Do it for the cause.
Do it for the cause. Yes. What about you, Kronk? What's your prediction for the Liverpool Wolverhampton game?
I would love for something to happen, but nah, Liverpool, they're gonna win this match. It's the final game. They can't lose. Just like Chelsea, just like Tottenham. Yeah, they can't be losing these matches. You have to go out strong, because if they flounder, especially with all of the interviews that Klopp has kind of been doing, almost, and I know this is what you're supposed to do. It's your farewell song, so you go on all these media. You go on this media run and you tell people how much you loved everything and how great it was, and you do your little revisionist history, and you try to trick people to think that this was a more successful stint than it actually was. Wolves. I actually just talked myself out of it. Wolves are going to come in and upset. I like that. I like 3-2. Dio was brilliant. I'm with him.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna predict that as well. Yes, he says, pick up everybody, by the way. Hope you all doing well. We're gonna be ending the stream. I had to leave, but we were gonna end it regardless. But pick up to Kronk. Thank you for joining. It was a great stream. Yes. So people, you can find Kronk on the Shades of Blue network. Do you have anything coming up on your channel?
Yes. We actually do a lot of live streams and different shows. We record our season finale episode tomorrow night, but we just dropped our Thursday night live stream on our feed. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, all that stuff. And actually during the summer, we do content season, where we have a bunch of different series that have nothing to do with like matches. We connect with a lot of people through like fandom and talking about our clubs. And we actually drop an episode every other day from basically the first week of June to when the season starts up again. So where a lot of people take breaks, we dole out
you
the
just
content.
continue with pumping a lot of content. And
we're bringing in a couple of new podcasts to our network. We're bringing in hopefully a United, an Arsenal, an MLS, and a Bundesliga podcast. And We have a website and a blog site starting soon. So yeah, everybody hop in. Shades of Blue, yes, we're Man City, but obviously we love football. We support football. So it doesn't matter what team you support. We would love to connect with you and hopefully have you on one of our shows. Hop on one of your shows. Sophia, same to yours. Well, I'll be in touch.
Yes. Big up, big up. I've appreciated the collab. I have linked both Kronk and Dio's channel in the title and also in the description box. So make sure you do check them out both. And of course, subscribe to both. We'll definitely collab again. It's been a pleasure. I'll be doing a watch along for tomorrow's game, of course, focusing on my team. But we will be, watching City, West Ham, just in case. Arsenal, Everton, just in case, we will be there. If anything happens, we shall be there. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah, make sure that you subscribe here to this channel as well. And indeed, like the stream, because the more likes we get, the more we're able to push the video out there for more people to see. And big up to Constancy earlier, one of our members. If you want to become a member yourself, the link is in the description box to become a SFT member. Big up to everybody that's been here. Yes, I do need to drink because it is super hot here in Norway. My God, you wouldn't imagine, but it's been super hot. So yeah, we're gonna drink lots of water once we're done.
Hydrate. Take care of yourself.
100%. Yeah. But guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure once again, have on the notification bell button, and we see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. And we are out. Bye-bye.